Testing. Hello, hello. All right, everybody, let's get going. All right. Hello. Happy Thursday. Yay. I'm Paula Montgomery from Desert Cat Creations, and I want to invite you to our week 28 Bead Stash Challenge design reveal. So on Thursdays, we make our project live. On Sundays, we make a live project that's not part of our Bead Stash challenge necessarily. Sometimes it is. And we're going to make some earrings today. So on Sundays we draw cards. On Thursdays I make the project live. I don't do it immediately because I have to go dig through my stash and figure out what I want to use in my projects. So that's why you're not seeing me draw and make it live. Although I do that sometimes, and I may do that this weekend with a monthly bead box. Okay. So anyways, I hope you guys all had a great week. I live in Arizona and it's monsoon season, so we're getting rain, which is really nice. The plants are very happy. It's been a little cloudy though, so sometimes my lighting is a little bizarre when it's cloudy because I rely on natural light when I'm doing these shows, so apologize for any funny things in the lighting, but it happens. If you're in the Tucson area, just want to remind people I will be teaching Monday our Desert Blooms, Cactus Blooms bracelet. Sometimes I call it Desert Blooms, sometimes I call it Cactus Blooms. Either way, they're blooms off the cactus. Bracelet. I'll be teaching that live at Freebird Shop in Catalina. They're opening a new location, so it does matter which location, on Monday the 20th. So for a mere $25, you can get live instructions, enough materials to make 2 bracelets, which we should have time to make during that 2 hours. It's at 5:30 p.m. on Monday the 20th in Catalina, and you can register on the Freebird Shop, and it's shop with an E, okay? The old-timey shop spelling. And I think there were a few more seats left when last I heard. So anyways, that's the news. So this weekend, I know a lot of my followers like to watch the Great Bead Extravaganza, which this weekend's their midsummer weekend. So I adjust my schedule usually for some of that. I can't move it to Monday. I have a very busy day Monday, so I'm still going to do it sometime on Sunday. But I'm also going to watch the World Cup while I'm watching videos on the side. So I can't be doing one. So I'll probably do it later in the day. So let's see. Probably like 4 p.m. my time, which actually most of the Great Bead Extravaganza may be over at that point. I need to look, and sometimes they add something on that last day, like a wrap up or something. But you know what? You can always catch the replay, right? The replays are available on Facebook for 30 days, and then I move them to YouTube, our Desert Cat Creations channel, which they will sit there until YouTube changes their policy and starts deleting things. So hopefully they won't. But anyways, so that's the scoop. So I will do it sometime on Sunday. I was debating doing it on Saturday because although Saturday there's also a soccer game. So why don't we right now, we'll plan on Sunday at 4 p.m. Pacific time, okay? And if you join me, that's great. If you can't, that's okay too. And I think I'm not 100% sure, but I think I'm gonna play with the new this month's bargain bead box, because it's all in my color scheme, so we're gonna have fun with this. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. We're making some earrings today. I'll remind you what we drew. Let's zoom in a bit here. All right, so we're gonna make a pair of earrings. I thought about an ear cuff. We hadn't made one in a while, but I decided I wanted to make some earrings after I started digging through my my stash here. So let me move. I got my little bowl of stuff. So got some wire out because we always have to have wire ready, right? We're supposed to use gray. Let me slide that down a little. So I've got a couple things in here. So one is I'm going to use these cute little coin pearls that are gray, although I suppose they could be silver, but just in case you guys want to harass me and say silver is not the same thing as gray, which I mean technically they're gray, the shiny part comes from it being a pearl, right? But I also have these crystals which I'm thinking of throwing in, which the color says gray blue, so I'm going to count that as gray. All right, so we will have gray in our design. And, in case I decide to kind of change it up, I do have some gray crystals sitting here in case solid gray crystals. Okay. Then we are supposed to use split rings in our design. Normally I wouldn't necessarily do it, but it's okay. We'll just use them sort of like we would a jumper ring. So a split ring. So you see it's got 3 layers. So, if you want one of those old-fashioned keychains, that is a split ring. I know it's kind of hard to see these, so let me dig here a minute and see if I have a keychain handy. Guess you could see it in bigger. And it does not look like I do. I thought I had one that we had made sitting around here. I got all my old jewelry sitting here. Anyways, so these are split rings. Hey, Veronica. Well, be safe. Finish your shopping. Anyway. All right. So we're going to use some of those. We're going to use some heishi beads. So heishi beads are, these are sort of heishi beads. So they're basically narrow, flat on the outside, not rounded, right? I do have some fake turquoise, but still pretty. Heishi beads that we're going to use. Okay. So we've got kind of 2 styles in there. All right. And then we have to design something inspired by a boardwalk or pier. Now I have the, oops. If I can tone down the glare a little bit. There we go. All right. So I have to inspire by a boardwalk or pier. So let me pour the rest of my beads out. So I pulled out these fun shell dolphins. So we're going to use some dolphins for that. Because, if you're standing on the pier or the boardwalk, sometimes you can see the dolphins playing in the water, right? And then I also have these cute little fish. It's hard to see, but they are fish. because some people fish off of a pier, right? And that's also, the pearls also kind of fit in that a little bit because they're, you know, oceany related. So, and I also thought today we would use these kind of earring findings, because I don't think I ever have used those on our lives, but they are included in our findings packet, the non-jewelry findings, or the, not the jewelries, the findings pack that you can buy from me. I do have some of those earrings in there. So, all right, so let's get started. I did not make up a spare. But one thing I am going to do, so I want to, like I said, I'm going to use these split rings. I thought I'd use them to add a little more movement. And cut these off. I may not end up using these crystals, but I'm going to have them ready just in case. We'll see how this lays out, okay? You know, then I just have some wire and stuff by here. But I thought I might, like, use a split ring to attach this to the top. So split rings, especially small split rings, can be a little challenging. If you really force them open too much, you will, you can end up misshaping them. So these are what are called split ring pliers. And what you do is you go near one of the sides. Now, you know, it opens on both sides, right? And you put your ring on the pliers. I'm trying to open this. And then you gently kind of squeeze this, and it will open. It actually, let's try this way. And it can help you open the edge so that you can slip this on. Let me see if I can get it. There. Ah! And I just sent it flying. So that can be a problem too. Okay, Marianica, thank you. Hi, Marianne. Nice to see you. Okay, so you'll see I have it slightly open. I don't know if you can see. There. Okay, using these. And now I'm going to slip this on. Well, we're going to try. Actually going to see if I can do it. If I can hold this a little better. I will say I should have done one of these off screen because it's kind of a pain. All right, so I got it open. So now you need to get your, whatever you're putting on there, slid on there before it closes. Then you can just use your pliers to bring that around. Now, if whatever you're hooking it to, the hole isn't big enough, it's gonna have to stay right where. And see, I didn't even think about that when I was picking these findings. And that is actually not gonna work so well. See, it's too thick, so now I don't know if I can get it. All right, so that's not going to work, guys. Although it should, right? If it'll slip through, it should be able to dangle. All right, I'm going to force it. Hopefully I don't end up bending the bottom of my ear. All right, well, anyways, it's on there. Now you know how to do that. Let's get busy and design these earrings, all right? So, you know, my one critique on these dolphins that I don't like is they're one-sided. They're not double-sided, okay? And the nose is where the hole is. So let me put a piece of wire through there and show you. So the nose, or the wire, goes right through through there, but they can still hang, you know, so it's going to hang out to the side when I put these on something. So I was thinking what might be cute is if I put the little fish on the bottom, hang the dolphin out to the side, so they're going to stack up like that, right? And then maybe put the pearl up here. Now I could put the pearl on the bottom. So the pearl on the bottom, and then the dolphin towards the top. I think I want it that way. I think we're gonna try it that way. Yeah, the only thing is, like I said, my dolphins are going to go the same direction. I usually like my earrings to face in opposite directions, but I am not happy at all with how that split ring. Yeah. Okay, maybe it'll be okay. All right. So we're going to build these, and we need to incorporate our turquoise colored beads along the way. And then I was thinking, you know, to give them the ultimate motion, I would put a ring in between there and there, but maybe it should just go directly onto the earring and not have a separate one here. So I think I'm going to take that one off there. Now hopefully taking one off is easier, and actually I do think the bottom of these earring findings are open, so all right. You know what? So look, I think it does open. All right, well, we'll put the other one first. All right. So I've got some head pins. So my bottom fish is going on here. Now, these fish do have little eyeballs, so I got to make sure they're right side up. So the question is, should I include some a little color on the top, or should I save that for elsewhere? Yeah, we'll try it. All right, so I'm using a pre-made head pin. We're going to make a wrap loop here. And now I've got my circle there, so I'm going to hook that onto one of these split rings. And I may wish I had made, yeah, I think I need a little bigger loop, so get that on there, and we're going to wrap. Since the end is short, I'm using really short head pins because I don't want to waste. I'm going to, you know, if you have to trim off extra, I normally, I will say when I buy head pins, I always buy longer ones, but through the years I've bought different sizes because sometimes what you trim off isn't quite enough to do something else with. All right, so there we have a little dangle. All right, and I'm going to use 22 gauge wire because I'm using pearls and these shells. So my my holes are not very big. Okay. So I don't know. If I add color there, does that look silly? You know what? I could use the clear ones maybe just to add a little extra. The only reason I'm trying to add something there is I want to sort of protect the nose a little. So maybe the clear ones are better. So, you know, sometimes a lot of times spacer beads can help you just put a buffer next to more fragile beads. And we're just making this up as we go. All right. And I'm just slipping that right on there. And now we'll close that. All right. And let's see how this looks. Might be, never mind. So we've got the dolphin, and we got the little fish dangling below. These are not going to be short earrings. But I did use the smallest split rings I had. All right, now since I do have split rings, I could go ahead and close this, or I can cut it and then close it. I'm gonna do the easier part of not opening the split ring. So, you know, another good thing that split rings can be used for is if you make those crisscross bracelets that you use jump rings on. Nice thing about split rings are they're closed, right? So you don't have to open and close all those jump rings while you're making that bracelet, which requires a lot of, you know, opening and closing if you buy regular jump rings for it. You can buy closed jump rings, you know, and that makes your life easier in some cases. So I originally was going to make the ear wires today, but, you know, we do that a lot. So, and I think this is going to be a long enough earring without it. Right? All right. So let's see how that looks. It's kind of fun. You could certainly hang that on a ear wire or some other earring finding just like that, but we are going to add one more piece to this. In the turquoise, because we had to use Hishy beads, but they're also adding a little color to our project. And so, all right, so I'm going to connect this to the I usually make, you know, small rings, but I had to make them a little bigger since this is a doubled up ring. All right, so got the split ring on there, wrapping our push this down tight. And I'm not worried right now about how things are dangling. We'll fix the rings afterwards. But I am going to go ahead here. You know, I was going to just put it on the directly onto the split ring, but like I said, we started with that split ring on there, but I think it'll work better with it just going onto the ear wire here. So, all right. And again, I'm not going to worry about front or back because I can twist things. All right, so I'm slipping that onto there. These are stainless steel earring findings. And pretty sure they do open, but we're just gonna not open the wire because, you know, that just makes it something else we got to close, right? And we're gonna tighten that up. All right, do a little trim here. And let's tuck that in, and then we got to see how we're hanging. Okay, so the earring goes, this is a lever back, so that's the front. This is the front, that's the back. So I want my pearl to face the front. And I want, this guy's gonna have to turn. All right, let's see. Front. Here we go. All right, I think we have an earring. It's a little crazy. We'll see how it hangs. But should we make I guess we should make the second one. So, you know, here comes the question of, do we want them to match? Or do we want to do mismatched? Get this ring off my earring finding because I need it. All right. There we go. Once you get it open, you can scroll it off, right? All right, so we need to make a second one. And these earrings are going to be long, and but you know what? It's all fun. All right, so again, our fish has an upside, so we need to make sure he's going the right direction. So eyeball at the top. Put a little color up there. All right. Oops. Our ring on there. Is that the one? I don't know if that's the ring that we were using. It's a little rough, so it might be, you know, the more you open it and close it, it will not close as well. So I'm just using my pliers to wrap those ends because, you know, it's too short for me to grab. All right, let's see if we can tuck this in. Trying to hold it. All right, well, good enough. All right, now get some wire and our crystals. Yeah, about these dolphins. Somebody was closing out their stuff. I thought they were super cute, but I hadn't really thought about how to use them. And then when I saw them, I was looking for something else. I was like, oh, that works for this week's project. So I don't know if you guys are good about remembering everything that's in your stash, but I have a big stash, and sometimes I buy stuff, you know, somebody's selling stuff, and I thought, oh, that's really cute, but, you know, I don't really think about it till later, how I'm going to use it. Because we have our Sun and Sea deck, I did buy a bunch of, you know, ocean-y themed things. Not that I don't like ocean-y themed things anyways, guess I do. All right, here we go with that guy. Now we need a loop on top. And putting our split ring on there. And we're doing some wrapping. I know this is one of those repetitive things. It's not very exciting to watch, huh? But you know, when we come out the other side and we're all finished, it's lots of fun, right? All right, now we just need our last star pearl. Yeah, split rings, you know what, I bought like a pack of them, and that comes in a bunch of different sizes, and they are more secure than jump rings. So it's a great way if you're like, you need to connect something onto like a clasp, or they're great for using with, I don't know why. You know, this problem with pearls, sometimes the holes are, I know there's a hole all the way through because this came on a string, but let's see if we can, there we go. There's a little bit of extra material in there. But yeah, I mean, in any place you have to use a single jump ring, a split ring could work, assuming, you know, the space isn't too small. So that's always the problem with trying to put a split ring on where a jump ring is making sure whatever you're threading it through has a big enough hole. But like I said, sometimes you can get away with, as long as the section where the two ends meet will fit through that. Yeah, my pearl isn't, but I got it. I beat the pearl into submission here. So. If you work with pearls, having a pearl reamer is a good thing to have. The hole in these was particularly tiny, but the wire eventually went through. But, I am not a, I need to try more of it, but I don't do a lot of knotting or stringing on, you know, like silk or something. I own all that stuff, and I always was going to do that, but I don't know why. I prefer to use beading wire because I know it'll last, right? All right, our last loop, yay. Now we got to see what these crazy things look like on. But you know what? They're fun beach earrings. I do not have a beach trip planned this year, but I was sort of already there because I went on my cruise, so that was as close to the beach as I was getting. But It's easy to string pearls. Yeah, like I said, I know how to do it. I may make something, but sometimes I like to add regular beads too, which is fine. Since I live in Arizona, I've been trying to find ways, because I do have a lot of pearls, and I love pearls. I'm going to do some designs that have pearls and Southwest Southwest themes to it. So, all right, let's fix our thing again here. So here's the front. So our pearl is hanging down, and I've got this guy backwards. Let's see if we can. Actually, you know what? He can probably swing, right? Although I need. All right, there we go. That's fun, huh? Oh, Bermuda. Bermuda is one of those places I'd like to go. I have not done that. I went to the Adriatic. Saw some beautiful places over there, but the Mediterranean is really not really beachy. But it's beautiful water and all that. So, all right, let me see what these earrings look like. They may be super crazy, but I also I don't wear leatherback much anymore. I used to. I don't know why. I'm lazy. Like my French wires, they're easy to get on and off. All right. Let's flip these and see what they look like on my ears. So, well, they're gonna go flinging around. I may not have them tight enough to stay going in one direction, but well, they're not that long. All right, huh? Okay, great. Yeah, I love the Mediterranean, and it's a lot of fun. So, all right, so guys, that was our project for today. So we used gray. We had gray pearls. We used and we had the gray crystals. Our theme, you can watch the dolphins and go fishing off the pier, right? And we used the turquoise Heishi beads. So yeah, now I gotta plan my trip to the beach so I can wear these. I am going to, going to visit a place with a beach, but I'm not planning on going to the beach while I'm there. So, it all works out. All right, guys, thank you for joining me as usual. I appreciate your business. Free way to support me is to like and follow my posts. Like and follow Desert Cat Creations on Facebook, Instagram, and subscribe to me on YouTube. All the videos are on Facebook for 30 days, but they'll be on YouTube either today or tomorrow, and it'll sit there, like I said, as long as they keep them. So please subscribe. I appreciate all the support, and like I said, if you ever have any questions, feel free to direct message me. I will help you out if there's something you're interested in that I use in my projects. I may have extras, or I may be able to tell you where it came from if I don't. and help you find something. But I hope you all have a great weekend. If you're part of the Great Bead Extravaganza, enjoy watching all those free tutorials from, some of the some very well-known instructors throughout the beading community. And if not, like I said, you can join me. I will be on Sunday for my regular drawing, I think at 4 p.m. Around 4 Mountain Time, or Mountain Standard Time, Pacific Daylight Time. I know that's 7 to you guys on the East Coast, but maybe if you're not totally worn out, there it is. Apologize. Like I said, normally I would skip it or move it around, but next week I will not be on live on Thursday because I am going to be visiting with my family, and so I will not do a live on Thursday. Depending on what I draw on Sunday, I don't know when I'm going to do my project, or if I'll just do it behind the scenes and post it. And then I will also be gone next through the following Sunday. So I'll probably have to draw ahead of time or wait until I get home. I get back late on Monday, so I could just draw when I get home. We'll see. I haven't decided that yet, but so anyways, the schedule's gonna be off for the next week and a half or so, between me being gone and all the other things going on online out there. So anyways, thanks again for joining me. I appreciate it, and I will be back, like I said, on Sunday around 4 p.m. because I'm going to watch the World Cup, and I'm going to watch lots of beading videos, and so then I'll be all ready to talk to you guys. Okay, so you guys have a great weekend. Stay safe. Enjoy your summertime. Hopefully you're getting a chance to get out and enjoy the fresh air, or if you're in Arizona, enjoy the rain. So, I know, but we need it. So, and I will see you all Sunday at 4. Bye.